Welcome to the Torch Academy. Today we're exploring whether you should buy another business, the itch to do it again, and what to think about before you jump back in. By month 6 or 12 post-sale, the thought starts showing up. Maybe I should buy another business. You've got capital now. You've got experience. You know you can build something. You just proved it. The itch feels like ambition, like you're still hungry, like the next chapter is ready to start. And sometimes it is. But before you act on it, there's one hard question worth sitting with. Am I running towards something, or am I running away from boredom? Those look identical from the inside, and they feel identical in the moment. But they lead to very different outcomes. Only one of them tends to work out. About 70% of sellers seriously consider buying another business at some point after their exit. Only 20 to 30% actually do it, and do it successfully. That gap is worth thinking about. It's not that buyers are failing at due diligence or picking bad businesses. It's that they're bringing the wrong motivation to the decision. The sellers who succeed on the second time around are almost always running towards something specific. The ones who struggle are usually running away from something else. The data on serial entrepreneurs is encouraging, with a catch. First-time businesses succeed at roughly 30%. Most fail within 5 years. Serial entrepreneurs push that success rate up to about 55 to 60%. The experience genuinely compounds, but here's the catch. Most serial entrepreneurs who fail on their second business fail because they rushed it. They jumped in while the emotional high of the sale was still in their system, or while they were trying to outrun post-sale boredom. The experience is real. The advantage is real. But it only shows up for people who enter the second business thoughtfully, not reactively. A search fund is a modern way to buy another business without starting from scratch or putting all your own capital at risk. You raise capital from investors, typically $2 to $5 million, and spend 18 to 36 months searching for a quality platform business to acquire. When you find it, you step in as CEO. Investors get equity upside. You get salary plus meaningful equity. It's a middle ground between buying solo and never buying again. You get ownership and operating authority without the startup risk, capital to acquire an established business, and a built-in structure that forces you to be disciplined about what you buy. Lisa sold her marketing agency for $8 million. Rather than buying a business solo with her own capital, she raised $3 million from search fund investors. She spent about 2 years evaluating opportunities and ultimately acquired a regional staffing company, $5 million in revenue, $800,000 in EBITDA. She's now CEO of a growing platform. Her investors are aligned with her because their returns depend on the business's success. She's not personally at risk if it goes sideways. By year 3, she's grown revenue to $7 million. In 5 years, when she exits, she'll share the upside with her investors, but she also shared the risk all the way through. For a lot of sellers, that trade is worth it. There's a real choice to make between buying solo with your own money or going the search fund or partnership route. Buying solo, you keep 100% of the upside, and you're personally on the line if it doesn't work. Your due diligence has to be close to perfect because there's no one to catch mistakes. It's the right path if you already know the space cold. Search fund or partnership, you share the risk with institutional investors. You get a structured process with real support. You have capital to acquire a bigger platform than you could alone, and there's built-in accountability and governance. The trade-off is cleaner than it looks. Solo is higher upside and higher risk. Structured is lower upside, much lower risk, and a lot more support. Franchises appeal to a specific personality type, and that's worth being honest about. On the plus side, you're buying into a proven model with an established brand, you get real training and operational support, and the risk is meaningfully lower than acquiring an independent business. On the downside, your autonomy is limited because you're following someone else's playbook. You're paying ongoing royalties and fees that typically run 10 to 12% of revenue. And you need to actually enjoy operations and systems rather than entrepreneurship. If you loved building your first business from a blank page, a franchise might frustrate you. If you like execution inside a known model, a franchise can be an excellent fit. Neither path is universally better. It comes down to what you want out of the next chapter. Before you make any commitment, sit with these 4 questions honestly. Why do I actually want this? Not the version you'd tell a friend, the version you'd only admit to yourself. Write it down. Am I running toward a specific opportunity, or am I running away from boredom and identity loss? Can I genuinely lose the entire purchase price without it materially changing my life? Not just on paper, emotionally. And do I have the mental and emotional energy to go through another startup or acquisition cycle? These aren't questions you answer in 5 minutes. They're questions you live with for a few weeks. The sellers who get this right are the ones who were honest with themselves before they were honest with anyone else. Here's something that doesn't get said enough. You might not be ready for another business, and that's completely okay. You just spent 10, 20, maybe 30 years building a company. Your mental reserves might be lower than you realize. Your family might want you to slow down and genuinely mean it. Your health might actually benefit from rest. None of those are failures. Some of the most successful second-time operators took 2 or 3 years before jumping in again, and they were far more thoughtful buyers because of it. Don't let boredom or fear of missing out talk you into starting the next thing before you've fully recovered from the last one. Here's a timeline that protects you from your own impulses. Month 6 to 12, notice the itch. Don't act on it. Just observe where it's coming from. Boredom, opportunity, identity, ambition. Month 12 to 18. If you're still interested, start exploring the landscape. Look at search funds, franchises, specific opportunities, what's actually out there. Month 18 to 24, make a decision. Either commit seriously or let the idea go and move on. And from month 24 onward, if you're buying, do thorough due diligence. Take 3 to 6 months minimum on any specific deal. The point of the whole timeline is simple. Create space between impulse and action. That space is where good decisions get made. Before you buy, ask yourself one question honestly. Can I afford to lose this money? Not hypothetically. Actually. If the answer is that losing it would significantly change your life, you're overextended. A reasonable rule of thumb is that any acquisition should be no more than 25 to 40% of your liquid net worth. So if you netted $5 million after taxes on your sale, a $1 to $2 million acquisition is reasonable. A $4 million acquisition is reckless, no matter how good the business looks on paper. And separately, can you fund the business through a difficult year? Most acquisitions need a capital injection in year 2. Do you have reserves for that on top of the purchase price? If not, you need a smaller deal. When you're actually sitting with the decision, here's a way to read your own motivation. If you're running from boredom, find another way to stay engaged first. Advisory roles, mentoring, board work, these fill the same need without putting capital at risk. If you're running towards something specific, a market opportunity you've been watching, a unique deal that fits your experience, then explore it seriously. That's the version that tends to work. If your family is opposed, listen to them. Their concerns are almost always more grounded than you give them credit for. And if you're still burned out from the first business, wait. 18 to 24 months minimum. The cost of waiting is small. The cost of rushing this decision is enormous. The final takeaway: if you're feeling the pull to acquire another business, that's completely normal. But give yourself time. The perspective you gained from selling makes you a far more sophisticated buyer. You understand due diligence, deal structure, and valuation in a way most first-time buyers never will. When the time is right, you'll be ready. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, head over to torchapp.io/signup and create your free account. Torch uses AI to help you navigate buying or selling a small business. Whether you're just exploring or ready to make a move, we can help. And don't forget to subscribe for more episodes from the Torch Academy.